Keats and I sat side by side on the porch swing to enjoy the rare luxury of simply staring out at the big red barn and wide pastures dotted with livestock. I pushed off and swung back, off and back, mesmerized by both the movement and the beauty of it all. The magic hour right before sunset added a warm golden glow that would make any scene breathtaking. But this view was special because it was all mine. "Isn't it amazing?" I said. Since much of the outdoor work was all mine too, I had few opportunities to sit and appreciate how blessed I was to be here. But tonight, forced to wait for my best friend, Jilly Blackwood, to finish dressing for a party, something that had taken me 10 minutes, shower included, I basked in the utter serenity of Runaway Farm. There was a grumble beside me, and I glanced down. Keats, my black and white border collie with one blue eye and one brown, had taken far longer to prepare than Jilly and I put together. It had been a 10-minute fight just to get him into the bathtub. The bravest dog I'd ever known was terrified of water. Even more so since our recent tangle with a colony of feral cats in Huckleberry Marsh. But there was no way he could go to this party stinking of farm. My mom was more daunting than a squirming sheepdog, and getting Keats past her into the event was going to be a tough sell as it was. I was determined to try, because crowds made me anxious, and I needed my unofficial therapy dog for moral support. "What?" I said, as he directed his eerie blue eye up at me. "Can't a hobby farmer and innkeeper take a moment to bask?" He offered his signature mumble of protest deep in his throat. This dog wasn't bred for lounging in a porch swing, or anywhere else. He liked being busy. In fact, he craved work like I craved my morning coffee. No job was too big or too small, unless it involved water. Sitting up, he shook himself all over, as if throwing off the fresh smell of shampoo. "I get it." I ran my hand over his sleek coat, a move that normally left a layer of grit on my fingers. "You're embarrassed about looking so good." "Me too, actually. This dress feels like a costume, and I miss my overalls. But you look very dapper, buddy. Your whites have never been whiter." The look he gave me was the canine version of a scowl. Keats was happiest, belly down in dust and manure, as he kept tabs on his livestock. "It's just for one night, and it's important to Mom," I said. Launching her own business after losing so many jobs is a genius move. This time, no one can fire her. "Except for her daughter," Jilly said, as she stepped through the front door looking spectacular. When we lived in Boston, she dressed up every day, saying it was a key to her success as a corporate headhunter. Since her stilettos touched down in Clover Grove, however, there had been a gradual erosion of personal style until she was just a few rungs above overalls. I hadn't seen her curly blonde hair blown out in ages, and was surprised to see how much it had grown in farm country. Meanwhile, her iridescent emerald dress made her green eyes pop, and her heels were an accident waiting to happen. My brother, Asher, a police officer that half the women in town coveted, already adored casual Jilly. There'd be no hope for him after seeing glamorous Jilly. I give it a week before Iris calls a family meeting and asks Daisy to boot Mom from the business. Of my 4 sisters, Iris was the most reserved, and her desire to open a business in partnership with Mom had come as a shock. I had no doubt that Daisy, the eldest, and our unofficial matriarch, would be in constant demand to negotiate among warring parties. Perching beside Keats on the swing, Jilly smoothed her dress. "You're right about a lot of things, Ivy, but you underestimate your mother. I've helped a ton of people find their true calling in life, and I really think this is Dahlia's. Look at how fast she made it happen. Robbie Ford gave up crowning glory less than 2 weeks ago." Gave up was being kind. The longtime salon owner had no choice but to close, after her unspeakable crimes took her out of commission. Mom and Iris swept in, with backing from all of us, and a business startup loan. I had a sneaking suspicion that their association with Kellen Harper, chief of police, made the bank more receptive to their pitch.